Hi, I'm Nicholas Miner. And just in case this one wasn't in there long enough, there you go. All right. Thank you all for coming to my speech. I appreciate your time this evening. Today we will be going over two separate issues that I believe need more attention. The first being, should America spend more time and resources into solar energy as a main source of energy? The second being, is a little bit more complicated. Do the parents of deaf children ethically have the right to implant their children with a cochlear implant? So we're going to jump right into solar energy. Number one, the best pro is it is reusable, especially if you are a native resident of Las Vegas like myself. We get about 360 days of sun a year. The second is you will be later reimbursed for the cost over the next few months of a lower power bill. The last being the technology has evolved past the point to where bad weather is a concern. So rain, sleet, snow, overcast, giant, advertising balloons, whatever have you, all of them are great. We'll still have power. There are other concerns that do go into solar energy, which would be there is mining involved into the planet and other places, which does cause a separate environmental issue. There are drawbacks as far as maintenance, because you will need to have them serviced regularly in order to ensure they're working correctly. And the last being, most people don't make six figures a year, which leads us to need a lease. If we do have to lease it, that does usually invoke a contractual obligation. Sometimes a payment, which may or may not end up balancing out where you're paying for power as it is. Moving on into the ethical choice for hearing parents involving their deaf children on whether or not they are allowed to implant their children with the cochlear implant. The cochlear implant has many wonderful benefits to it. The first being that if you implant your child at a young age, they do have the highest chance for success. The second being, young children may or may not remember having the surgery at all, because who really remembers being 18 months old? And the last being, hearing parents often tend to lean towards this because they don't want to learn ASL or whatever sign language they are native to, and this would offer them an ability to communicate with their child. There are many cons though. They would be missing out on something called the deaf community, which is a wonderful place to be. It's a hidden gem within society. They also will not be done with the surgeries at the first implantation. There will be many more that involve additional channels, maintenance, sometimes the magnet breaks. And finally, it's a lifelong commitment. Just to piggyback off of the additional surgery, sometimes the complications run even further as well. It is a very long procedure. That concludes my speech for this evening. I thank you all for coming. I appreciate your feedback. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Drive safe. Be safe.